Mrs. Thistlethorn's Mushroom House, Part 1. Let's get started. This is Calico Critters, Mrs. Thistlethorn, and I'm building her a mushroom house. I've made a rough sketch with measurements and furniture possibilities. I'll be using this sturdy piece of cardboard for the base. I was planning on using this empty oats can for the house, but it's too small in diameter, so on to Plan B. I set my compass to 4.5 inches to make a circle that will measure 9 inches in diameter. I'll be using this circle as a guide for building the walls of the mushroom house. Okay, so here we have Mrs. Thistlethorn. This is going to be her house. She's standing at her front door. It is about 2.5 inches. The doorway is about 2.5 inches wide. When you walk in, a little kitchen sink and counters on each side will be right there on her right, our left, and then I'm going to make a little bay window right here. This is going to be a fireplace with a chimney, which is going to extend to the second floor where there will be a fireplace for the bedroom. This is going to be a little stove that I'm going to inset into the fireplace. Might put like a little rocking chair over here. This is going to be all open, so we have access to everything in here. The stairs here in white are going to curve up to the second level. And underneath the stairs, I might have a little storage cupboard for, whatever. And then I'm going to make a little bench seat and a round table. This is the approximate size. I don't want to get any smaller or any larger because smaller, she won't be able to put enough dishes on there. Too large, it'll take up too much space. Probably make another chair for guests, and then make a nice rug in the center. And yeah, so that is the tentative plan for the first floor. There's going to be a little bay window over here where she can put her herbs and things. I was kind of thinking about doing a high round window over here, but we'll have to see how that'll work out as far as the wall integrity. I'm going to possibly put another window over here behind the bench seat, under the stairs, and maybe one going up the stairs so she can look up, or maybe a series of them as she's going up her steps to her bedroom. So that's the plan, and I think Mrs. Thistlethorn is happy with it. Now I get to start building walls. First floor walls. I used pieces of cardboard from my stash and measured and cut them to the height that I wanted the first floor walls to be. The flutes run vertically so that I can bend each piece to make the curve of the walls. I cut slits into the flaps at the bottom to help with the curving of the cardboard and gluing the walls into place. Then I used masking tape to temporarily set each wall piece in place, matching the circle I drew on the base earlier and keeping in mind where each of the openings for the doorway, chimney, and access opening were going to be. So here we are with the walls tentatively put up. As you can see, that's where the fireplace will be and the kitchen bay window. I decided I wanted to make it round topped. I might do the same thing with the fireplace. That's an idea. And possibly the little window right there where the bench seat will be. And then, of course, the curving steps will go up to the second floor. And now I'm debating on whether or not I should make the doorway curved. What do you think, Mrs. Thistlethorn? Should we give it a go? Let's try it. I like it. Staircase and window layout. Okay, so I have tentatively drawn in a window here and a window here, and this line going up here is the approximate area where I'm going to put the staircase, and then where Mrs. Thistlethorn is standing is where her little dining table, kitchen table, and bench seat will be. So, cutting out the windows and doorway. I used a circle stencil to draw the circular windows and the arch above the fireplace and to round out the front door, and then cut them out using an X-Acto knife. Okay, so here are all the windows, the doorway, and the fireplace cut out, and the walls temporarily taped into place, just so we can have an idea of what things would look like. And then I cut out a temporary second floor, so we have an idea of how much light there may be. Well, there won't be any light coming in through here, except for the fireplace. So I am planning on electrifying it, putting some lights in there so that it's not quite so dark. And I'm gonna be painting it in a lighter color scheme. So, but yeah. Next, I guess I get to start gluing down the walls. Gluing down the walls. I used a combination of tacky glue and hot glue on the slitted flaps and glued the wall sections into place. The masking tape and 1-2-3 blocks kept everything in place while the glue cured. Okay, so here we go. A view from the outside. This will be the chimney opening right here. Here's her little kitchen bay window. There's Mrs. Thistlethorn checking on progress. This will be her front door. The window by the bench. Kitchen table. And the window as you start going up the steps. And the opening. So, and it's at the top view. So this is a 9-inch diameter circle. I think it gives us plenty of room for furniture and things. So, strengthening the walls. I used tacky glue to glue the walls to each other. More tacky glue was added at the inside base of the walls. I used torn strips of packing paper and a water and glue mixture to help strengthen the walls. The strips are wetted with water and glue mixture on both sides and then placed on the wall, overlapping and going past where the wall and the floor meet for a smooth-looking join. The paper strips are also folded over the raw edges of the cardboard walls to cover the openings and give them a finished look. Okay, so I've glued all the paper into place with my water and glue mixture, and that took over an hour to do. Just torn strips of paper glued on there, cover all the cardboard, help strengthen things. So I'm going to let it dry overnight and continue on to the next step tomorrow. See you then. The next day, Mrs. Thistlethorn stopped by for a brief inspection. Okay, so here we are. The next day, after I added this bridge part over the opening, I got to thinking about it and I was like, it just looks like a big chunk of wall missing at that opening. So I decided to go ahead and add this. It's more cardboard and then more paper with the glue and water mixture over top of it, and it's dried and it's pretty solid. It's not going anywhere. None of it is. So yeah, next I think I'm going to work on the chimney. So let's get to it. Fireplace chimney. I first measured how deep and wide I wanted the chimney to be on the outside of the mushroom house. Then I cut and scored a piece of cardboard according to my measurements and tried it out for size. Okay, so the chimney for the fireplaces is in place. I've used tacky glue along the edges here and glued that in place, and then I'm just holding that in temporarily in place with some masking tape, and then down at the bottom I filled it in with some hot glue, so it should, once it's cured, stay in place nicely. But I may actually use part of this back part, maybe, I don't know where, but as a battery pack, because I'm going to be lighting both floors. Not exactly sure how I'm going to do that yet, but yeah, the chimney might be a good place to hide the battery pack. So that's where I'm at so far. Of course, the second floor will have a fireplace as well, and then once I decide how tall the second floor is and how tall the roof dome will be, then I will cut this down to a smaller chimney stack towards the top. So for now, it'll just hang out and look like this. Ground floor fireplace. So I want to add some depth to the fireplace, and I'm going to do some like rock work around here, but in order to add more depth, because I'm not going to use real rocks, I have cut 2 pieces of cardboard out, which I will glue together after cutting the insides out of this, and then I will glue it up against the wall over there, and it'll give the fireplace, I guess it's the mantle area, I'm not sure exactly what the technical term is, some depth. So okay, here we are. It's all put together. I ended up having to put a little extra piece of cardboard back up here because there was too much of a gap up there, but it's all glued in with tacky glue, and then just some hot glue to stick it down while the tacky glue is curing. So yeah, some progress made. I think I will go ahead and cover it with some strips of paper and the water glue mix. I might do the same for the chimney, at least the part that is going to be on the ground floor for now, because I don't know how high up this is going to go. So that's that. Okay, papering is done around the outside and the inside of the fireplace. Now I just need to wait for that to dry, and we can start on the next step. In part 2, In part 2 of this series, I'll be taking a break from working on the mushroom house itself, and I'll show you how I built this cute little stove from scratch using mat board, paper, toothpicks, and beads, glue, and acrylic paint. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.